24 hours, nothing but net rolls on in our live stream. And we got two big time stars, big supporters and fans of what we are doing for Special Olympics. EMAC, you know him as Eric Lain, big time football announcer. And then Kelly Gramlich, one of the best shooters in the history of Clemson basketball, and certainly a great colleague of mine covering college basketball in the ACC. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to be back. We got an invite back, so that always is a good thing.
Yeah, it's always nice to be invited back. You know, you never know. But Debbie, I know we're recording this a little earlier than your event, obviously, because you're shooting right now, probably. But I saw you training the other day with the burpees and the free throws, and I'm just like, whoo, she's back at it. She's back at it again.
I tell you what, it is one of the best combine or compound exercises I've been able to come up with. Sometimes I do the figure 8 through the legs too, Kelly, just so if I don't have the bar with me, I don't want to compromise my wrist. You know, as shooters, we don't want to be messing around with.
That's right.
You know.
And Debbie, you're fully healthy this year, right?
Yes, no broken bones right now to speak of, no broken fingers. I know I was watching.
Knock on wood, everybody knock on wood right now.
Yeah, listen, hey, since I'm the spokesperson for the state of North Carolina on preventing seniors from falling, I certainly am being very careful about making sure that I don't fall or get hurt before the event.
Yeah, you just practice falling after every shot doing a burpee. It's just like, what are we doing? Come on. But so, I love it though.
Guys, get us up to date on your families, because last year, Kelly, you were pregnant when we did this. EMAC, you're still a new father. You got a lot. You guys got stuff going on. We're all in the media. We're all trying to do our thing. Kelly, tell us a little bit about your guy and how he's doing.
Man, you know, Debbie, sometimes I think about you. I'm like, Debbie has 3 children, and I just don't know how you did it. But my son is actually, as we're recording this, will be 1 this week. If you can believe it, I cannot. It is crazy. And basketball season was a whirlwind. My husband was amazing. Plus, we had both sets of grandparents basically coming in like every couple weeks. So we got it. We did it. And it was a great season, Debbie, as you know, and we can talk about that more, but he's walking with the walker. He's pulling up. He's so active. He wants to do everything. And I think he really, the last couple of days, is saying car. Like, I'm trying to figure out what he's saying, but I'm pretty sure he's saying car because he loves to just like zoom his cars back and forth. So yes, it's great. And his 1-year-old birthday party will be a golf theme hole-in-one. So we're very excited about that.
Hey, Kelly, can you also let the people know on your newfound belief or mindset for draft night for Jacob? You and I were just talking about this, Debbie. I don't know if you watched the NFL draft at all, but you know, there's some girlfriends that maybe get a little too close. KG actually has I know
Debbie's going to agree with me on this. Debbie, you birthed the boy. You raised him for however many years. No ring, no couch. That's my rule. If you're engaged, you can be on the couch. But I am next to my son, and I will be the first hug. I'm sure you agree.
I agree 100% because you don't know if they're still going to be there. As a matter of fact, after 32 years of marriage, my mother-in-law still puts me on the end and says, just in case I'm not around anymore, she can cut me out.
Oh my gosh.
So that never changes. I'm 100% with you.
That is amazing.
I knew you would be.
I love it.
I thought it was because I was tall and not Italian. Then I learned that wasn't it.
So it's easy editing. That's amazing. Listen, as a girl dad, I can appreciate that. And Amelia is just growing too fast, Debbie, as you know, and KG, you know too. It literally flies by, and the vocabulary is increased. She's starting to sprint. You know, everything she's just a sponge. You know, she takes it all in, and you got to be a little careful what you're saying and what you're doing because she's always watching. But it's been the second greatest joy of my life. You know, first obviously marrying Kaki, but just to see her every day, and to see Kaki be a mom, it's so much fun because there's no rule book, there's no handbook for you guys, but you can just do it so well, and you have all the answers, you have all the solutions. I know there's some days it feels like you don't, but you do. And to be able to lean on her and her support, you know, throughout all this stuff is just so fun. And I got to say, I'm wearing my Ally t-shirt that you call that game one of the greatest games, one of the greatest weekends that we ever saw with women's basketball leading up to the tournament, which then blew all that out of the water. And Amelia got to go to that. So that was her first ever basketball game. And to see Liz Kitley and Georgia Amore and Coach Brooks and the Iowa team that was just so stacked, and Caitlin Clark, for that to be her first game was just incredible. So a
That's
year of great
legendary, Matt.
fun things. It was legendary. It was very cool.
Yeah, since we're talking Ally, their support of women's sports, we see in my lifetime, I've seen the incredible shift. And it's not something that we should be surprised about, because we've known the product's been good for a long time. However, the mindset shift that requires somebody like Ally to step to the forefront and say, you know what, I think this is powerful. This is going to help us. Women do make most of the decisions in the households. I don't understand why no one is in corporate America doesn't get that. And so following and supporting women's sport is really important. And EMAC, I want to, ask you about that, because you are a girl dad.
Yeah.
And I know how much you love your daughter, and I know how much you and Kaki are going to put her in positions to learn and experience and succeed and find ways to grow and mature through sport.
Yeah.
Whether she likes it or not, at least she'll have an opportunity to experience it. Why do you think that's so important?
Yeah, it's for me, it's everything, because that's all I know, right? From a development standpoint, from a friendship standpoint, all the life lessons that sports can teach you. It truly is irreplaceable in my mind, because again, I met people through soccer, basketball, football, baseball, whatever, that I would never in my life have met, whether that's because of different ethnic backgrounds, different economic backgrounds, geologic, whatever it is, travel teams that you don't even practice, you just play with each other, like all these different things that sports brings us all together for one common goal and one common purpose there. And I think just the adversity that you face there, and quite frankly, leadership roles, being able to come together for teamwork. I mean, it's something that is so vital. And, like you said, she'll be introduced with it. And the good thing is she's loved it already. So it'd be one thing if I hand her a ball and she wants no part. She loves it. Like, she's had the Little Tykes basketball goal since she could walk. That was her walking gift from me. And she absolutely loves it. So I hope that that's something she'll continue to, want to be a part of for not just, hopefully it's an avenue to go to school and everything of that nature, but just to learn and to, bring people together and just find ways to figure things out. Because I think if you don't do that, you're just a little behind. If you do a bunch of individual things, that once you get to a team in corporate America or whatever it is, you just have such a great background to lean on and to come together there, that I think it's truly irreplaceable.
So, EMAC, give us a little update on, a short version of ACC football in the NFL draft. And I know you're in the midst of spring football right now, so thank you for that. I know you both work in football, but I'm going to get to Kelly on some basketball stuff.
Yeah, no, it went really well. Draft was great. I think some guys, were really put into fun situations. The ACC was right there with the Big Ten and the Pac-12, which no longer exists, which is sad, but is what it is. And everybody's behind the SEC. But all three of those were right kind of in junction with each other, which you feel really good about the talent level. And spring ball has been fantastic. We have some really exciting new faces in the ACC this year. Freshman class that's coming in, but also, this new world of the transfer portal, where people can just instantly, change your team completely. And there's a lot of great quarterbacks, and I think Cam Ward is kind of leading the way there at Miami. Miami just got 4 other high caliber transfers this past week, it's really exciting to see. And the thing with Miami is we always get excited preseason, and then it doesn't quite happen. But it feels like this year, with the offensive line that they have, which is by far the best that they've had in a long time, maybe since the championship years, and the quarterback level that they can have with this young man, look out. I kind of tell myself, don't get excited about Miami, but I am a little bit. I think NC State is going to be really good. Man, they have brought in some really, come on, Wolfpack Nation.
We're gonna have Coach Doran. Coach Doran's going to be with us.
There we go.
Stream. Yeah, we love Coach Doran.
You need to tell him that I'm very excited about his team, because the folks that they brought in, starting with Grayson McCall at quarterback, it's not like question marks. Oh, we think these are proven commodities that at other places have been dominant, and they all linked up at NC State. And so it kind of feels like putting all your chips in. Like, hey, it's time to win a championship with the team that they've kind of assembled here because of all those guys they brought in. Casey Concepcion, I think, should be better, because it's not going to be forced to him. Everybody in the world's not going to know this is where we're going with the football. There are other options there. Clemson defense is
I was
going to
going
be
to say,
electric.
Mac, you going to mention the Tigers? Come on.
Yeah, I was getting there. I was getting there.
We have Dabo will be on with us too. I mean, we
There
love,
we go.
we
There you
love,
go.
those are two. I mean, there's a lot of great guys in the league,
Yeah.
obviously, but those two stand out to all of us, right? I
No
mean, we love
question.
those guys.
No question. So the Clemson defense, I think, going to be unbelievable. Offense is going to be fun to see now that it's the Phil Maffa show and he's the sole guy there. Offensive line should be marginally better, but it's going to come down to quarterback, as it has for the last handful of years over the Tigers. So can Cade take a step forward? I think if so, Clemson will be back to where they want to be, competing for championships. If not, it'll be interesting to see. So those are kind of the three that I'm really excited about. I'll throw in Virginia Tech too, because I think they've got a lot returning. Number one in FBS production wise coming back. And I feel really good about what they're doing defense and offensively. So that's kind of the big four that I'm really excited about looking into this season.
What do you think, Kelly? I know you cover football equally. You guys, your podcast is outstanding, by the way. You're way ahead of the curve, the two of you, with what you're doing.
Well, thanks, Debbie. We appreciate that. Yeah, we're I guess coming up on 4 years in October, Mac, of this podcast, which is really hard.
5 football seasons, 4 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. I agree with Mac on a good portion of that. I am always, let's see it, Miami, right? Because I feel like the hype is there every year. But Cam Ward is the truth. And Cam Ward probably is the best quarterback they've had there in a good while. I'm high on NC State. I'm high on Virginia Tech. I think Florida State is still going to be able to be there. He's done such a good job in the portal. And that's part of this new world, Debbie, as you know, in women's hoops too, just embracing where we are. Like, it's not 2010 anymore. The sport is so different. College athletics is so different. And Mike Norvell's done a really good job of that. And then Syracuse is kind of interesting with Kyle McCord, the transfer from Ohio State, and new head coach Fran Brown. And he's got a lot of excitement up there. So I think we'll see kind of some different programs maybe jump up. And then you've got Stanford, Cal, and SMU. I mean, what?
Oh, yeah, by the way.
What are we even doing? SMU is going to be fascinating because we know they have all the money in the world and they're so excited to be in the league and they're investing like crazy. And I think they have we had an SMU guy on, if anybody wants to go listen to that. And the early part of their schedule is manageable. So they could be undefeated hosting Florida State end of September in Dallas. And that could be a really exciting game there. So a lot going on in the football world, Debbie, but of course, the changes, it's not just for football. It's a whole different world in women's hoops too.
What about the portal on the women's side, Kelly, that has intrigued you? Teach our fans a little bit about what to expect out of the ACC on the women's side.
Well, what's interesting, Debbie, is we've kind of started with the coaching portal because Virginia Tech, who's been along with NC State, kind of and you could say Notre Dame too, the standard bearer of the ACC over the past couple of seasons. Kenny Brooks goes to Kentucky, takes Georgia Amore with him. So Virginia Tech is going to look brand new. And I know Megan Duffy, the new head coach, is still working the portal there, but no Georgia Amore, no Liz Kitley at Virginia Tech is going to take some getting used to. Notre Dame is a team that hasn't really used the portal. And I kind of wanted to see them get maybe a big somewhere in the portal because Watson got hurt in the ACC tournament, but still, Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles together is going to be must-watch television. I'm not sure how it's going to work. That's Niele Ivy's job. But if you pair those two first-team All-American guards with Sonia Citron and Maddie Westbeld, I just, if they can harness it, like they have the talent to really compete for a Final Four. NC State, who of course made the Final Four last year, they've done some work in the portal. They've got to rely on some of those young bigs, but Isaiah James, Sanaya Rivers, another year of those two playing together is going to be awesome. And Debbie, what about what Sean Poppy's doing down at Clemson? He's been working the portal, getting some pieces. Loyal McQueen, who was at Georgia Tech and at Alabama, she's coming back. She's from Florence, so that makes a lot of sense for her last year. I'm not expecting too much in year one, but that's going to be interesting. And then how could I forget Louisville? Bringing in Amari Berry, who was committed to Clemson, now going to Louisville. That, you give Jeff Walls a piece like that, that's going to be fascinating. So, I mean, I'm already excited. We could start the season tomorrow, as you know. Kimora Johnson up at Virginia, excited to see her. Another year of Tania Latson at Florida State. It's the Cavenders are back. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing that was possible for Hannah to come back. So yeah, already a lot of intrigue there.
Yeah, it's exciting. And EMAC, I know you follow it as well. I mean,
Yeah.
this is what I love, the crossover in media, right, Kelly? I mean, just because the game has been so good, and you know, you've grown up, EMAC, watching really successful female athletes
Yeah.
on the college level at Clemson and other places. You know, when you see the boom in the game right now, what makes you feel good about what will be down the road for your daughter?
Yeah, the star power and the fact that they were all freshmen, you know, the what we
Yeah.
think is next, you know, it's not like it's, and there are, I'm not being disrespectful. There's a lot of great juniors and sophomores for sure, but it just felt like we had Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and you know, Cardoso and all these great players that were seniors, Cam, all these great players, and I'm obviously missing a ton. But then it's like right behind them, these crazy freshmen that are just insane and playing out of their minds and playing at a super high level. So that to me is what's so exciting, is that it's not like this massive, you know, exodus where we think the game's going to disappear. No, it might even be another step better, because I don't think when all those great seniors were young freshmen, I don't think they were getting this type of hype. I don't think anyone was talking like they are about Juju right now and the things that she's going to be able to do, and the massive transfer, you know, USC just got from Stanford. Wow. I mean, look out. I mean, they're looking at, you know, squarely being in a Final Four, I think,
Yeah.
when you look at that talent. So for me, it's just the growth of it, the sustainability. Now, will we get astronomical numbers like we just did? Maybe not, but I think there's no question we'll be way above what used to be the standard and what we used to do backflips for, thinking about getting a 6 or a 7 mil, you know, watching a national championship. So I hope that we're squarely consistently in double digits and just continuing to press the game forward, because they deserve it, number one. And number two, it's a fantastic product. Like it's so good and fun to watch. I don't know what took so long, I guess, is the
Yeah.
crazy part of it.
Yeah, I think the NIL space is what changed it on the women's side mostly.
Yeah.
We've always had great players, but you
Yeah.
know, Caitlin Clark is allowed to use her name, image, and likeness and create a household context that we've never seen. If that was available when
Right.
Brianna Stewart and Cheryl Swoops,
Sure.
yeah, I mean, those things would have happened in earlier than what it's
Yeah.
happening now.
And what's
All right.
crazy to me too, Debbie, even just like the NIL piece, I think is fascinating. I wish we knew numbers, because I feel like the women's side would just be crazy to see. But also like the social followings. I remember
Yeah.
seeing in the Final Four, they posted a graphic and it's like the most followed athletes. It was like the top 12 before you got to a male athlete. And we're just like, wow, like this is crazy to see the growth and the change that we really are in live time.
I think part of it is just the way women are. We're more socially collected together.
Sure.
Guys are more
Yeah.
alphas, you know, like it just
Makes
feels like
sense.
that to me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's spin it forward to Special Olympics, because that's what we're doing. And this is the live stream, and we're in the driveway right now, and we're knocking down free throws and we're raising money. When you guys think about your own experience with Special Olympics or your impact on what we're doing, because you definitely have an impact on what we're doing, what comes to mind?
Yeah. It's just the continued support for what you're doing specifically, Debbie, because this is so amazing. Number one, the awareness piece of it, but also two, the fundraising piece of it, and understanding that this stuff ain't free, it ain't cheap, and we need everybody's help. And so if you can, you know, donate. I'm sure there's links everywhere all around me. You know, continue to support this cause, because it's something where opportunity is all we can ask for,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like whatever you can do with that, do with it, but we need something. And that's what Special Olympics has been for so long, for, you know, just helping folks with special needs or disabilities prove and show I'm not just that. Don't put me in this box. Let me be free. Let me compete. Let me show you what I can do. And it's always something that is so special to my heart for a lot of different reasons, but just to continue to see it, Debbie, we love it and we'll always support it. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, 100%, Debbie, you've dedicated your life really to women's hoops and to Special Olympics and to seeing your son thrive and his friends and people like him thrive. And it's really admirable. And I'm not sure I really understood it until I have my own kid and I realized I would do anything to make sure that he
Yeah.
feels included and is able to live the best life possible. So, I mean, just, you know, you're just a mama bear at work, but you're also it's translating to so many other lives besides just Frankie's, which is really special. And every kid deserves that opportunity. Like you said, Mac, every person, the confidence that these kids can build from competing in sport is so important for the rest of their lives. And so it's just incredible. And Debbie, the fact that you're still knocking down these free throws at this rate, I don't think people understand. I think your average person just thinks, oh, I could go in the driveway and make 96% of my free throws, but you could not. You absolutely could not. So
You couldn't do it.
respect.
But you know who hopefully can one day?
Oh my
Is this little
gosh.
bean right here. Amelia, can you say hi?
Max, she just gets cuter like
Can you say
every
hi?
day.
Hi. You're so
Oh.
cute. Debbie's shooting some
Oh.
free throws right now. Can you say ball? Ball. I
Ball.
love you.
Perfect.
I love-
Perfect.
Oh, thank you, Khaki.
Yeah, thank you.